Hey there, LEGO fans and Star Trek fans, and welcome to another video where we're discussing two of my favorite things, LEGO and Star Trek. Now, if you're new to my channel and seeing this for the very first time in my studio, you're probably a little confused. Why is this guy all dressed up in Star Trek garb with Star Trek models on either side of him have thousands of dollars worth of Star Wars sets behind me? Hey, I like Star Wars, it's all right, but Star Trek is where my heart really lies. Star Wars is pretty cool. They got these awesome big ships. I love the big ships. I love how they look. That's why I have them. End of story. Let's move on to Star Trek. Now, the burning question to all of you Star Trek fans out there. Is it realistic of us to think that LEGO will ever come out with licensed Star Trek sets? Or should we just give up hope? I don't know. I was zooming around the internet as one does, and I came across an article about the matter from a website called Brickstrom, I think. And I don't know when this came out. It might have been a few years ago, but it has the question here, why doesn't LEGO have Star Trek sets? 8 reasons. So let's take a look at these 8 reasons, and I will share the link to this article in the description below. So if you guys want to follow along or read it after, you can certainly do that. But here we go. Let's take a look here. Number 1 on their list, the licensing fee. Star Trek is an incredibly popular franchise, and the licensing fee that LEGO would have to pay to produce Star Trek sets would be very high. This high fee would likely make the LEGO Star Trek sets too expensive for many consumers. As a result, you are probably unlikely to see new sets coming out soon. Ouch. The dagger. That's horrible. You know what? Hey, you know what? They're not wrong. Licensing fees for IPs or intellectual property are probably not cheap. But come on, LEGO already has Star Wars, Disney. I mean, that can't be cheap. However, it is a bit of a cash cow, but we'll talk about that later. But yeah, the licensing fees is going to be quite a bit, I'd imagine. So that's obviously going to be a barrier no matter what IP you're going to get. But hey, Blue Bricks did it. This is the Klingon Bird of Prey from Blue Bricks. I got this as a gift from Jason from Jason's Bricks in 5. And this, the Enterprise here, the Constitution class, is a Mega Block set. I got this many years ago, and I love it. It looks so great that I had to buy it. It wasn't LEGO. I was like, oh my gosh, I'm not buying something that's not LEGO. So yeah, it's possible, guys. So there you go. That's one. Next one is, according to this article, competition with Star Wars. You don't say. So it says, another factor that probably contributes to the lack of LEGO Star Trek sets is the competition from another popular LEGO theme, Star Wars. Both franchises are owned by the Walt Disney Company, and LEGO likely feels that it can make more money by focusing on Star Wars sets. Hold on a second. They're not both owned by Walt Disney. I'm pretty sure that it's Paramount that has the rights to the movies, and doesn't CBS have rights to the television series? Anyway, I don't know. We'll have to fact check that. It's fake news, fake. Anyway, so yeah, competition with Star Wars. Hey, look, this is a big barrier. Star Wars for 25 years now has been a huge cash cow, I think, for the LEGO Group, and it's been a great partnership. And I think they even extended their contract for many, many more years. So I don't see that going away anytime soon. They've got all kinds of movies and TV shows, so it spans a lot of generations, right? Young and old. It's a very familiar IP. Not that Star Trek isn't, but the competition with Star Trek or Star Wars is, I think, one of the bigger daggers with ever seeing anything like this coming in LEGO form. The next one they say is the target market. Kind of goes hand in hand, I guess, with competition. Another reason why there may not be any LEGO Star Trek sets is that the target market for these types of products is not what LEGO is looking for. That's sad. Perhaps the company feels like the target audience for such toys would not work well with the market that they can reach through other franchises such as Harry Potter and Star Wars, amongst others. We got to change that, you guys. And I think that's the big reason why I'm making this video. Who out there? Let me see you. Let me hear from you. Put a comment in the comment section below how much you would love to see Star Trek LEGO sets. And what you'd like to see. The combination of ships. Obviously, there's going to be a lot of ships. It's a a science fiction show that exists in space, right? We all know that. So the target market, I get it that, you know, there's other IPs out there that are probably more hot items that are going to sell better, whatever. That's fine. Next one, difficulty creating unique sets. Really? Okay, what do they say about this? Another potential challenge that LEGO might face is that it could be difficult to create unique sets within the Star Trek universe. This is because much of the action in the franchise takes place on starships, which are not easy to recreate in LEGO form. I'm going to have to disagree with that. In addition, many of the characters in Star Trek wear similar uniforms, yes, making it difficult to create distinguishable minifigures. Not to mention, many of the ships and structures are seen in Star Trek ships and structures are seen in Star Trek are very complex, and translating them into LEGO form would be difficult. This could result in LEGO Star Trek sets that are less accurate to the source material and less fun to build. I strongly disagree with that. I think the talent out there with LEGO designers and the pieces available to them, I'm sorry, seeing what they've put out already, I am pretty sure they can do whatever the heck they want. They could build a very nice, pretty saucer section. They can make a very pretty bird of prey. And yes, they can make the build experience really nice. And by the way, the build experience on these two sets, horrible. But it's not because it's Star Trek. It's because they're not LEGO. There's a huge difference in quality and engineering when it comes to these things. And I think if LEGO had it, they have, I don't want to say they have better quality control, but I'm going to say that they will be overall better as far as quality goes on the build on these things. Not to mention the pieces, but look at my Enterprise. It is so discolored. There's so much of the gray that's gone like that old dark gray from like LEGO of old, you know. But yeah, it's struggling, man. And it's not been in the sun. It is not exposed to sun. So this is all just like age. It's old. So anyway. All right. So creating unique sets. Yeah, I disagree with that one. The perception of the franchise. Okay. Finally, it's possible that LEGO views the Star Trek franchise as being less family-friendly than some of its other products? Really? The perception could make LEGO hesitant to produce sets based on the franchise, as they may feel like it would not be a good fit for their brand. I am sorry, but they have Star Wars, and that's not exactly family-friendly. I mean, it's a similar, like, I think Gene Roddenberry described it as, it's not a show about like space and spaceships. It's not a direct quote, by the way. I'm just saying I'm paraphrasing. He said, it's a show about people. It's a show about relationships, all right? And I watched it as a kid, as a teenager, and I loved it. TNG, by the way, Star Trek: The Next Generation. That was my vibe, man. That was my MO. I watched the original series later and all the others, most of them, not all of them. And I'm a huge fan. They're all great. And they're all great messages too. So I don't think perception has anything to do with it, but it might. Who knows what they're thinking over there. All right, next one they have here is lack of interest. Well, yeah, this might be a big one. While there are many fans of both LEGO and Star Trek, it's possible that there simply isn't enough interest in a LEGO Star Trek crossover to justify its production. This lack of interest could be due to the fact that LEGO Star Trek sets would be more expensive than other LEGO sets, and or because the target market for such products is not what LEGO is looking for. Okay, fine, not what LEGO is looking for, but I'm sorry. The two most expensive LEGO sets that exist right now are the UCS AT-AT and the UCS Millennium Falcon. $850 each. And they fly off the shelves, guys. And I mean, all these sets behind me are hundreds of dollars, and they fly off the shelves. They make a new X-Wing every year. They fly out the shelves. I mean, I don't think that has anything to do with it as far as the cost goes. Yeah, we expect an IP to have a bit of a premium on top of it. We know that. We're not dumb. But the idea that they'd be more expensive is, I mean, LEGO it's ludicrous anyway. They're so expensive anyway. So I don't think that's going to be a barrier. But when they talk about what LEGO's perception is of that, then yeah, that might be an issue there. But all right, we got, let's see, that was lack of interest. Timing issues. Timing issues? Okay, let's talk about timing issues. With the really recent release of the new Star Trek movies, it's possible that LEGO is waiting for interest in the franchise to die down before releasing any Star Trek sets. That's a weird way to go approach it, but okay. This would allow them to avoid the high licensing fees while still catering to fans of the franchise. Now, I don't know when this article was made, but there's not been a Star Trek movie for quite some time now. So it's cooled off according to what they're predicting here. So if that was the case, then now would be the best time for them to get that IP and start building amazing Star Trek starships and Romulan birds of prey and Klingon bird of prey and everything. You know, Dominion, everything, the spaceships, DS9. There's so many ships they can do. Now, I will say that Star Wars does have a lot of land type of vehicles and things like that they can get into that helps diversify the types of vehicles that they're selling. Totally get that. They could probably figure something like that with Star Trek too. There's a lot of stuff out. There's a lot of vehicles out there. It's not all just starships in space. Right? Anyway, so timing issues, I don't know. And last one they have here is other priorities. Finally, it's possible that LEGO has other priorities at the moment, and introducing Star Trek sets simply isn't a priority for the company. This is especially true given the recent success of the LEGO movie franchise, which has generated a lot of interest in LEGO products. The LEGO movie was 10 years ago, by the way. I don't know how recent the other ones were, but those aren't new. Like I said, this is probably an older article, but I like the reasonings here because they do make sense. I mean, the article is not wrong. A lot of these hit home more than others. But I wouldn't be making this video if I didn't feel like it's still possible. As a big fan of Star Trek, I know there's a lot of people out there who confess, like I do, that we would be so broke if there were LEGO Star Trek sets. And if there were Star Trek, especially Ultimate Collector Series Star Trek ships like this, that would be awesome, big. You bet I would be moving these guys out of here, and this would be my Star Trek studio, not my Star Wars studio. True story. But I do want to know what you guys think about this. What do you think about the possibility of Star Trek sets? Would you love to see them? Would you love to buy them? Let me know so I can pass the word along to the LEGO group, as I always like to do. In any case, guys, thank you so much for watching. Live long and prosper, and we'll see you next time. Bye-bye.